Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for attending the mini Tahoe Blue Crew training. My name is Marilee Mobius. I am the Community Engagement Manager.
And I'm Kat. I am the Outreach Associate here at the League.
And we're so excited to talk to you more about cleanups and the efforts that we do to keep Tahoe blue. The League was founded in 1957 to protect the water quality and clarity of Lake Tahoe. And we've been doing this work to advance restoration, combat pollution, and tackle invasive species. We are an environmental advocacy and outreach member-based nonprofit, and programs like we're having today are made possible by members like you. Tonight, we will focus on efforts to combat pollution, with litter being the focus. We will have a brief presentation from Kat and I, and then we're going to open it up for questions from you. Before we get started, though, I wanted to make sure that you know that your video is off and you're muted, and that you have the ability to ask questions throughout the training in our Q&A window in the taskbar of this Zoom webinar. If you have any issues with that, feel free to email events@keeptahoeblue.org, and someone will get back to you with how to do that. And if something happens along the way where your video cuts out, never fear, we are recording this so that you can watch it at a later time. Now let's get started. The League has been hosting cleanups now for 6 years, since 2014. And in that time, we've picked over 60,500 pieces of plastics. And these are single use. They include straws and utensils, bottles, and other things. And this is the top trash found cumulatively. And the issue with this is that they don't biodegrade. They break down to smaller and smaller pieces in the sun and end up as microplastics in our environment, which we now find present in Lake Tahoe. Plastics are harmful to wildlife because it looks like food, and it leaches out chemicals when it touches the water. So even the smallest piece of plastic or trash is important to pick up. Through the Keep Tahoe Blue Litter Initiative, we're approaching this issue from science to solutions. For example, the data that's been tracked by volunteers is used to advocate for change. In 2015, we used this data to tell the city of South Lake Tahoe that plastic bags should be banned, and they are. And in 2018, they passed the styrofoam ordinance, and straws and utensils are now only available on request. And you can be part of this solution too, by listening to this training and then going out and doing your own cleanup. So right now, there are less cleanups happening, and your involvement is really important. The League also has been taking steps to address litter, and by hosting cleanups, we have 5 each year that are consistent, such as the Keep Tahoe Red, White, and Blue cleanup on July 5th. And we also are combating this issue by formally launching our Tahoe Blue Crew program last year. And that's what we're going to talk more about today. And this is such a great program in which volunteers of all ages can get involved and adopt an area that's a litter hotspot. This could be a parking lot, your neighborhood, a beach, a trail, wherever it is around the Tahoe Basin that has a litter issue. For the past year, we have had 13 active crews throughout the basin who have submitted data to us. There's been 74 cleanups that have been hosted by the crews. They've removed over 1,350 pounds of litter, including 1,900 pieces of plastic. And you can see a picture here of one of our awesome Blue Crews, David, out over at the Eagle Falls area. And these crews are instrumental to ensuring that the Lake Tahoe is protected and clean. Now, let's get started on how you can conduct a cleanup during COVID-19 times. Your new normal daily activities may include enjoying time outdoors while observing physical distancing recommendations. All cleanup opportunities are purely voluntary. For the time being, conduct cleanups at your comfort level in your neighborhood. Make sure to follow all COVID-19 guidelines from local, state, and federal governments. The information that we provide today will get you ready to hit the ground running by forming your own Tahoe Blue Crew once we're clear of COVID-19. We will offer more in-depth trainings once we find a new normal. Other safety tips when conducting cleanups is to not pick up anything that's hazardous, including human waste or needles. And you can alert us at Keep Tahoe Blue if you come across anything like this. Be sure to wear brighter colors and walk in safe places like the side of the road. Please don't conduct cleanups on private property that is not yours in areas that are closed. Always wear gloves, which leads us to talking about materials. So let's get started about talking about what you need. Materials are important to conduct a successful cleanup, and we'll start with the essentials and then work into fun additions if you have them and other safety things that you should consider. The League also offers cleanup materials that can be checked out during our normal business hours and can provide in the future after COVID-19. If you'd like to purchase equipment that you see tonight, we can provide links to Amazon where you can order those later. First, we're going to talk about gloves. Kat's going to demonstrate the type that we recommend. We prefer reusables that can be washed, and these should be designated to only litter cleanups and only left outside until your next cleanup. You can choose latex disposable gloves as an option as well. And we generally only use one glove on one hand just for the cleanup portion, and then have the other hand free to write down the data. You'll need a bag or a bucket. Again, we prefer to designate a reusable shopping bag or a bucket, because both of these are reusable and they can be just used for the cleanup. You could also consider using things that are repurposed, like a bread bag that you would normally throw away, but you're using this for the cleanup. Or you can use a standard trash liner bag. Also, you'll need the data card or a piece of paper and a pen. And Kat will be talking more about how to collect data a little bit later. You also should wear a safety vest or something that's bright so that you can be visible on the road, like we mentioned earlier. And this is our cool Tahoe Blue Crew vest that you get when you become a Tahoe Blue Crew leader. Looking good, Kat. You also, we recommend a hat or sunscreen and comfortable shoes, especially if it's sunny outside. So you can see this one has a wide brim. It's got the sunscreen ready, and obviously layers if it's chilly, and you can layer that under the vest. And then if you have them currently, we love grabbers. Those things are fun. You can also call them pogey sticks, I've heard, or picker-uppers. There's lots of different names for these. We can help you with your Google efforts on how to purchase those, because there's lots of different names. But we really like these. First aid kit is also helpful, just in case something happens. We hope not, but these are always on hand with our cleanups. Hand sanitizer to begin the cleanup and when you're finished. And also, you could wash your hands in the sink. That's an option too. And then lastly, a scale to weigh the trash is something that we always have. You could use a luggage scale like Kat has here, or you can consider a scale that you use to weigh other things. Again, you always want to make sure to clean it up after use. So now that you've got your materials ready, and we've talked more about why cleanups are important, let's go into where to go and where to look. For now, going out your front door and in your neighborhood are the best places for a cleanup. In the future, you can adopt a litter hotspot in a different area that's your favorite place to recreate, and keep that in mind and make a list. The best places to look are always going to be along the road on the gutters, the side of the trails, or in the bushes in rocks where litter will blow into. And if you're near a parking lot, this is also a good place to look, as people may park and leave things behind. After you've collected your trash, currently the best place to dispose it is from your neighborhood cleanup is your personal garbage or in the garage. And for the Tahoe Blue Crew program, trash can be disposed of in dumpsters that are unlocked in recreational areas. Now I'm going to pass it to Kat to talk more about data collection.
Before you dispose of your trash, it's very important for you to gather your trash together and give us a little bit of data. It's important to collect some data for us because it allows us to work from science to litter solutions. For example, cigarette butts are the most common piece of litter collected at cleanups. You might not know that cigarette butts are actually made from plastic, which means they never biodegrade, as Marilee touched on earlier. This makes them very detrimental to our environment. League volunteers have picked up nearly 120,000 individual cigarette butts since 2014. Cigarette butt data from our volunteers allows us to implement a solution to this problem. We are able to implement a recycling program with TerraCycle and pair with Tahoe Water Supplies Association to create a cigarette disposal program. The TerraCycle is a recycling program, so it's separate from our cigarette disposal program. Through the cigarette disposal program, we are able to distribute 250 cigarette canisters to hotspots around the lake. In order for you to collect your data that leads to solutions such as our cigarette disposal program in partnership with TerraCycle, you will need this data card. Chris, you can go ahead and show them the data card. All right, as you guys can see, there's a spot at the top for your crew's name, the number of people participating in the cleanup, the location, hours worked, date, weight, volume, and the miles you've cleaned. It's up there at the top. When you receive your welcome kit, we will provide you with tools to measure volume and weight, but for the time being, you can estimate both as best you can. We use gallons as a way to estimate volume at this time. You can download this data card as a PDF or print it out and use it as a guide when counting the litter you've collected. In the blank space, you can keep an account of your items using tick marks and write the total amount as a number next to the equal sign. We have created this data card using information from our past cleanups to provide us with data that we need to create litter solutions while making the card easy for you to use. It will be helpful for you to get familiar with this data card before embarking on your data collection. The most common items that you'll see on this card can be found in the plastics section. Chris, you can go ahead and show them the highlighted version of the plastics section. There we go. That's the plastic section. Become very familiar with that one. We also see a lot of miscellaneous paper, cigarette butts, bottle caps made both from plastic and metal and glass pieces. There's also a space for you to write other if you find something that is particularly interesting that you cannot find on the sheet. If you go to the next slide, Chris, our audience will be able to see the locations for other commonly found items. Once you have completed counting the items for your cleanup, please send the data to us by entering at keeptahoeblue.org/cleanupdata. If you are able to print out the data card, scan or email it to us once it's completed at our email, Tahoe Blue Crew at keeptahoeblue.org. We also love to see photos of you on your adventure, so make sure you post them on social media and tag them at Keep Tahoe Blue, or you can hashtag it with Keep Tahoe Blue and Litter Free Tahoe.
So now that you know how to execute a successful cleanup, we now want to open it up for questions in case you have any. So we'll do that now. We'll wait till they come on in.
All right, so our first question is, who can be a part of Tahoe Blue Crew? And anyone can be a part of Tahoe Blue Crew. Anytime a cleanup is done, we do need a Blue Crew leader to attend. So anyone that's been to one of these trainings or one of our prior trainings or in the future. Anyone can join along in the cleanup as long as they complete one of our waivers before doing so.
Okay, the next question is, how do I adopt an area now and in the future? That's a great question. So this training is a great start, and we will follow up with more resources through an email, and then you can respond and we can give you more information. But right now, the best thing to do would be to walk out your front door when you're taking a breath of fresh air and taking the data card and conducting cleanups around where you live. And then in the future, you can adopt the same area because you found that it's really, really important in your neighborhood. And you can also adopt a different area that we've located with land managers that are hotspot where you recreate. All right, the next question is, what is a litter hotspot and what are some of the litter hotspots around the basin? So Litter Hotspot is a location that we've identified that has a lot of different types of litter. It could be anything from there's a lot of cigarette butts in this one location or miscellaneous. We've gotten reports of hotspots when working with land managers, when we conduct our cleanup efforts. Also, the general public have submitted areas where they are concerned. And we've been keeping track of this so that we can have those areas adopted by individuals and groups now and in the future. And that is what a litter hotspot is. Some of the spots that we do see have issues are areas where there's a huge influx of people. So for example, this could be beaches in the summertime where there's high traffic. It could be trailheads or even some of the parking lots where there's people coming in and out often. And all of these are locations that we've noted are hotspots.
The next question is, there's a lot of trash by my house. How can I alert you of this litter hotspot? Which goes hand in hand with what Marilee was just speaking about. If you're noticing a lot of trash in Tahoe, shoot us an email through the email is Tahoe Blue Crew at keeptahoeblue.org. Once we receive your information, we'll add it to our list of hotspots, and hopefully you or another crew will be able to adopt it in the future.
Right. Okay, the next question is, we don't live in Lake Tahoe. How can we help? And this is definitely a great question because we do have so many people that have second homes in Tahoe or visit here frequently. We have over 24 million visitors a year, and we love to activate people that just love this place and want to take care of it. So when you're coming to visit Lake Tahoe, you can send us an email and let us know, or you can check out our event listing to see if there's a cleanup that's already being hosted that you can join in with. And this is a great way to take part. It also could be that when you are coming to visit, that you use these tips that we presented here in this training and go out and conduct a cleanup on your own and submit data to us.
Awesome. And the next question is the litter collection card on your website? Where can I find it? That's a great question. We will be following up this webinar with an email where we will provide you a PDF of the litter card. And once you become an official Tahoe Blue Crew, and we follow up with that, you will have a Google Drive folder where we will be able to share all information that is relevant with you.
All right, the next question is, what do we do with the cleanup data? So we actually at the League do a lot with it. And we mentioned a little bit earlier about some of the ways we use it for advocacy. Another thing that we're doing internally at the office right now is analyzing our data that we've collected for the last 5 years and seeing if there's any trends that we can report out or any analysis that we can come up with. And this is really exciting for our team because this is what we use to communicate with the public about where issues are and ways that we can find solutions. And we also are going to be mapping out these areas, mapping out on our website all the different locations that we've conducted cleanups or places where people can adopt. We also we're instrumental in supporting the In-Kind Village In-Kind Village General Improvement District's ban on smoking that they just passed on beaches and parks. And we definitely use the data to support that effort. And we want to promote the statewide plastics bill. The League is also supporting that and using our data to support those efforts at a state level of California. So we use it a lot of different ways.
Yes, we do. The next question is, how can I engage my kids in a cleanup? Like Marilee was just saying, the data that you collect in cleanups is very important. You can make your children feel like citizen scientists, which can be really exciting for them. If they're not interested in becoming a citizen scientist and they don't want to play make-believe, we also do offer a litter bingo on our website. You can access it through keeptahoeblue.org/activities. And it's a fun way to engage the kids in litter bingo to see who can get the most points. All right, and the next question is, can my family and friends join my Tahoe Blue Crew when they visit? And absolutely they can. We do require anybody participating in our cleanups to fill out a waiver, which will be available once this training is completed. and we will give you a link to share with your friends and family if they are going to help you.
All right. There may be a lot of questions that we couldn't address yet, and if you have any questions, we'll be keeping this open a little bit longer, and so feel free to write those to us. But as you can see, there's a lot of different ways to get involved with the league, but right now we're focusing on how you can help the environment just outside your front door. And this could be in Lake Tahoe, or if you're tuning in from somewhere else, this could be there too. And you can still use our data card to guide your cleanup wherever you are. Looks like another question just came in. So where can we recycle in bulk in North Lake Tahoe? It's a good question. So right now we do have a webinar that just happened last night with our experts that are waste and recycle experts. And we will be pushing that online within the next week or so. And you can tune in and listen more about ways to recycle, best practices, and how to reduce waste. You can also reference Keep Truckee Green's website. They have a lot of good resources on how to recycle in bulk. And depending on where you live in North Lake Tahoe, you can also visit IFGID's website and their Waste Not program, and also waste management. So there's a few different resources for North Lake Tahoe that you can look at too. All right, next question is, can you use the Citizen Science app to report trash data? That's a great question. The Citizen Science app is through the UC Davis Research Center, and it's available to download. So we recommend anyone to download this app. We use it a lot for our Pipe Keepers program and our Eyes on the Lake programs, focusing on stormwater surveying and aquatic invasive species, which are other programs that we host. You can on this app also report litter that you see on different areas, and mostly in the beaches. And so if you do see litter in an area in a beach, you can report it. However, extensive data collection, like we've talked about tonight, is not available on the app at this time. So we do recommend using our system for the data collection and submitting it to us through the Google form or through the data card and the PDF and emailing it to us. But that app is great resource, and we do use that to look at the litter data that's reported through that app. All right, the next question is, the league is going to push for smoking bans around Tahoe, like at Incline at other locations. So is the league going to push for more smoking bans around the lake? So California state parks, this ban has already gone into effect. So that is at different locations, such as North Lake Tahoe, many of the beaches up there, including Kings Beach and Moon Dunes, and any of those at the most North Shore. Those are California State Park beaches. There's also many others around the lake. So those are currently through the California beach ban. We are looking at data in different areas around the lake and finding ways that we can come up with solutions to advocate for supporting the ban on smoking. However, right now, as Kat already mentioned, we do have the Tahoe Cigarette Disposal Program to combat cigarette litter, so that we can collect data from those locations and see where there might be an issue. Great question. All right, Kat, would you like to take the next one? The next question? All right. Looks like the computer might be frozen. All right, I'm going to address the next question. All right, who is most passionate Tahoe Blue Crew member, and any fun stories to share? Oh, this is great. We did post a Tahoe Blue Crew gallery on our social media, so you have to check it out, last Thursday. And we gave a shout out to all the different crews that have taken pictures and submitted data to us. So that's why we love having pictures of your cleanup efforts. Please, please, please share them with us through our email or on our social media and tag us. This is a great way for us to see what you're doing when you're getting out there. And yeah, fun stories. I want to think about that for a minute. Kat, we're talking about fun stories from Tahoe Blue Crews, and if there's any of them that stood out that's most passionate. So I want to pass it to you, see if you have any good answers to that one.
I'm relatively new to the team, so I haven't had a lot of cleanups under my belt, but what stands out to me just looking at all the data from last year is that we've got one volunteer, Loretta, who's picked up 280 pounds of trash in the past year. And she's,
awesome.
I mean, she's a tiny little lady. She's removed literally probably 3 times as much trash as she weighs from our beach. So I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And it's been really fun to see some groups even in Carson and Reno that have adopted areas in Tahoe because they love to frequent up here so much with groups, and literally brought a car full of people at every cleanup. So this is businesses and individuals, which has been pretty cool to see too. And some of the Tahoe Blue Crews have told me when they've come into the office that they're just so excited to be a part of this because they can go out and do a cleanup any point in the day on their own time, and that people approach them and ask them what they're doing, and they get to share their story of how they want to protect Lake Tahoe. And we've actually had more volunteers come in because of our Tahoe Blue Crews talking about their efforts in the public. So that's really cool. We would love to share more stories. Maybe we can do that in our follow-up email. Okay, we have one more question here that you mentioned partnering with TerraCycle to recycle cigarette butts. What do those get recycled into? Yeah, so TerraCycle is a company that's based on the East Coast, and they will take different types of items like food wrappers or cigarette butts, all sorts of things, things that are not normally recycled. In this case, they take the cigarette butts and make them into a lower grade product. So this could include a shipping crate, and I believe there's a couple other cool ones. Kat, do you remember?
And they make ash. So the big ones are picnic benches and ashtrays that they make out of the plastic. But if you're interested, I believe that you can work with development teams to create whatever you want. It is rather pricey, but they can make whatever you want.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see. And we have diverted just thousands and thousands of cigarette butts that we send from our league hosted cleanups. And we'll wait till a couple of cleanups and pack them all together and send them out at once. And it's pretty impressive. So we really encourage people that join the Tahoe Blue Crew program in the future to take part in that program. Kat, would you like to take the next question?
Yeah, my internet went out for a second, so I wasn't sure if we had answered that yet or not. What social media apps is Keep Tahoe Blue on? We are on multiple. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. The handle for all of them is at Keep Tahoe Blue. We also tend to use the hashtags Keep Tahoe Blue and hashtag Litter Free Tahoe. So you can find many of our posts on that. We also do have a giveaway going on this month. It's a raffle. If you post photos of yourself doing cleanups or riding your bike, doing anything that's helping to keep Tahoe Blue at this time, make sure you tag us in your photos, and you'll be entered for a chance to win that prize.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for your great questions. If we didn't answer your question, we'll be sending out an email with resources and additional information on how to get involved now and in the future. And you can learn more about how to reduce waste, what is recyclable, what's not, and a lot of other topics surrounding this at keeptahoeblue.org/activities. And we encourage you to get involved with us. And thank you so much, everyone. We'll be sending out an email, and we hope to see you out there. Bye.